Hi, everyone. Sabrina Dami here, along with Chief Meteorologist Paul Caiano on this first warning alert day. And for many reasons, our weather team is focusing on the weather today, not just because we have messy weather, Paul, but because we know people are either already on their way to their travel destination or they're getting ready. They're packing up and they're getting ready to go. And it's important that they hear what you have to say right now.
Yeah, and we mentioned yesterday, Sabrina, good afternoon. We have been looking more at AAA numbers, and today is almost as big a travel day as tomorrow. It's always been the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, but I think more and more places of business tend to shut down a little bit earlier. That gives people the opportunity to take off either today or tomorrow. And of course, that means that the weather on 2 days now become important instead of just the one. So
Exactly. So what's the latest with this messy weather arriving, Paul?
yeah, it's on schedule. Snowing and raining right now out in the southern tier, out toward Binghamton, out towards Syracuse in the Mohawk Valley, out on 90, and heading our way. So the deeper into the afternoon we get, the more downhill it'll go. Now, there will be a window of time, probably for another, let's say, 3 or 4 hours, that most of our area will be dry. But if you're heading out on 88, or if you're heading out west on 90, you'll run into it more quickly. So probably best to leave sooner rather than later.
Right. We can see in this live picture you have up of Saratoga Springs, cloudy, gloomy. The sun has disappeared, but it's still dry for now.
Yeah, we have a few more hours locally. So if you're staying put and really just have some shopping to do, again, sooner the better, but we have at least a few hours before the first rain and snow arrive, probably closer to, if not after sunset. You could see Saratoga Springs is only at 35 degrees. So most of us started in the teens earlier today, but it's been allowed to climb up into the 30s. Here's a look at the Northway, south of the Twin Bridges, and not a whole lot of traffic. So that's good news. Middle of the day, so you might expect that things will probably get a little busier a little later on. And with the volume increasing on area roadways and then that messy weather moving in, things will probably go downhill. And you combine that with the fact that it's going to get dark out and things slow down considerably. Notice a lot of us now have pushed above freezing, including Kinderhook, Albany, Ballston Spa by a degree, Bennington's 36. Some places are staying below. It doesn't matter what the temperatures are in terms of if we can get snow, because the air mass is so dry that when the precipitation moves into this air, even at 37, 38 degrees, the air mass will cool back to 32 to allow for snow to drop off. And you can see Oneonta snowing right now in Utica. A lot of the initial snow is drying out before it reaches the ground. It just has to saturate the atmosphere. So that's why I think we have at least a few more hours to go. We'll expand the view and show you that whole big swath of precipitation that has to come through before this storm system will depart. And I want to be clear that I think most of this will happen in the form of rain, because even though temperatures will drop back close to freezing, I think it will not take long for it to go back up, even overnight tonight, to sustain just plain rain. So the storm system, the brunt of it will move off into southern Canada from the Great Lakes. Another storm will form south of New York City. A little too late, though, if you're a snow lover, in terms of keeping that cold air in place. So right now, I think the arrival time in the greater capital district will be between 4 and 7 o'clock tonight. So Albany, Schenectady, out in the Mohawk Valley, north to Saratoga Springs, out toward Pittsfield and southbound on the thruway between 4 and 7. So right when everyone's starting to hit the road, even if it's just for the ride home, it's going to take a little longer off into the North Country and into northern and eastern parts of New England between 7 and 9 o'clock tonight. Here's how much snow I'm expecting before it change over to rain. Albany, north, Clifton Park, Saratoga Springs, out towards Schenectady, eastbound to Troy, Hoosick Valley, Bennington, south to Pittsfield, coating to 2 inches. Also a coating to 2 along 88 through Schoharie County and out on the thruway westbound from Amsterdam to Utica. Now you get north into the southern Adirondacks, and you know the areas that get more snow typically, up past Gloversville on 30, up toward the Great Sacandaga Lake, into the Adirondacks, from Galway in Saratoga County north into Warren County, and from about South Glens Falls north through all of Warren County, the northern half of Washington County and the eastern part and the higher terrain in Bennington County, 2 to 4 inches of snow before we get that mix and a change over to just plain rain, which I think will happen everywhere. It's just going to take longer as we go farther north. And east. So let's track it hour by hour. Dry weather through 3 o'clock. It looks like by about 5 o'clock, the first few flakes will fly. It's going to take some time for them to hit the ground with the dry air in place. But once it does, I think we'll start to see a little bit of accumulation. Notice it's not going to take long to get a little bit of a mixture. 7:30, 8 o'clock even in the Mohawk Valley, in the Hudson Valley. It looks like even up to Albany by 10 o'clock, a cold rain while it still snows in the North Country. So you see the blue here. We'll stop the clock at 10. In the blue shades, that's where I have 2 to 4 inches for this reason, because I think that the snow will last longer in these normally colder spots. Eventually, though, even these locations will go over to just plain rain by about midnight or 1 o'clock. And then very important here, tomorrow morning, even if you're getting an early start on a longer trip or just heading out to work on Wednesday, just plain rain and above freezing at 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And if you're planning on traveling later in the day on Wednesday, notice a lot of clouds, Sabrina, but staying dry. So it actually looks okay the deeper into the day we go tomorrow. Thursday looks good for Thanksgiving Day itself. Dry 47, a little cooler, but with sunshine for the rest of the holiday weekend. So there you have it, hour by hour. Obviously, things change. So we're going to be updating this constantly right through the night tonight.
Paul, can you put the that traffic camera up one more time so people can see just what the Northway looks like?
Yeah.
As we discuss a few more things here, we
I'm
do
scrolling
have
backwards, but I'll get there.
No,
You
that's
should just bear
okay.
with me- bear with
There
me
we
for a
go.
second.
We got
Here
it.
we
So
go.
that's the Northway south of the Twin Bridges. As you noted, it's not super busy right now, but it is 2:15 in the afternoon. So we expect that to pick up just with people going home for the day and also maybe people traveling to start their trip.
Yeah, I think there's 3 things that are going to be going on here right at this spot and across the capital region. One, the volume is going to increase, whether it be, as you said, to your point, coming home from work or hitting the road for the holiday. 2, nightfall. I mean, let's face it, even just when it gets dark, and it gets dark early now, things slow down, and rightfully so. And then 3rd, if you include any kind of messy weather, including just plain cold rain, but especially if it's wet snow, that's going to add some problems too. So that's why part of the reason anyway, we've issued the alert day for this particular event, and it'll last through early tomorrow morning.
You saw this yesterday as well, and so did we, that Governor Hochul's office sent out a list of things people should keep in mind, also how the state is ready for this. And I just wanted to read a couple of them. The State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, they're ready with 1,500 generators. Should we need them? Should we have power outages, maybe not in our area, but elsewhere in the state, of course, might be of more concern. The New York State Department of Transportation has 1,600 large plow trucks ready to go. And we always talk about the salt and the salt sheds. You know, we have that big one in Latham that the Thruway Authority and the Department of Transportation both tap into. 130,000 tons of salt. Do you foresee this as being an event where we do have a lot of salt that's coating the roads after whatever falls today?
Yeah, I think a pass or two with the salt trucks right during prime time, 4, 5, 7, 8 o'clock, will probably do it for a lot of places, because then the rain will wash a lot of what falls away. But in the North Country, let's say north of Saratoga Springs, there's going to be a little more work to do from the plows. You'll put the blade down and get rid of some of the snow, then hit it with salt. So in terms of how this fares in terms of storms around here, probably on the lower end. But I think what the governor's trying to do in the State Department of Transportation, they want to let everyone know that we're prepared. It's not to scare people and say, oh, my God, we have 16,000 pounds of this, or how many trucks are on the road. That doesn't mean that, we're preparing for Armageddon. It means that, hey, everyone pays their taxes. We have these resources, and we're going to use it if we have to across the state. So it's better to be prepared and then kind of hang back and not need it than be caught flat-footed in a situation where a lot of people are going to hit the roads.
Well said, Paul. You said tomorrow morning will be fully just rain. So if we're up early packing up the car or walking the dog, we don't have to worry about any icy spots just on that walk?
Yeah, I think by then we're going to be talking about 35 to 40 degrees in just about most places, if not a little above in the valley. So it's going to be, nasty. It's not going to be great out, cold rain, but probably not icy. And I think most of what comes down that is more slippery will be before midnight tonight.
All right. We have crews working on all of this. Reed is going to be out today. Rachel will be out. Stella, they're going to be at the airport where our colleague Faith messaged this morning and said it was just an utter mess as she was getting ready to catch her flight. So we're going to check out how things are going over there. Of course, the airport has warned, leave that extra time. And so there you go. And you will have, of course, the latest on the forecast, Paul, starting at 4.
Absolutely. Yeah, probably right around 4. We're going to start to see it moving into our Fulton, Montgomery County area, Schoharie County. So we'll be all over it.
All right. Thank you so much, Paul. We'll talk with you live at 4 on News Channel 13.
Okay. See you then.
All right. Thank you for joining, everyone. We'll see you live at 4.